So today is Collaboration Station, episode number 46. Welcome to X. We're going to do a creator showcase today. This is an opportunity for anyone who's a content creator on X, new, established, or coming back out of retirement. You are welcome to come and share a creation that you're proud of, you're working on, or you are looking for help with. So
I think it's funny because you said coming out of retirement and you also said share in one sentence.
Why is that funny?
Well, because she came out of retirement like 3 or 4 times. Sorry.
Oh, share.
Oh, share. Yeah.
Okay.
Share.
Wow, that was good, Rich. And that went over my head, which I'm sad about a little bit.
Starting off the show with massive deep cuts.
Yeah. Cher is still amazing all these years later. What was it? The Saturday Night Live audience, the reunion thing that they had. She gave some good. What's that? There was something that she recently was brilliant in the background of some
I'm
meeting.
sure, like, she doesn't stop. And talk about a creator showcase. Like, she's been creating and showcasing her entire life.
Absolutely. If we could only be as inspirational as Cher.
So this is episode 46, and it's all about Cher.
Okay, so where was I? Okay, yes. Everyone's welcome to come up and talk about what they got going on. If you're free, you should come up and talk about your thing that you're interested in that you DM me about earlier today. And Dev's got some amazing stuff going and testing out the new video reactions feature. I saw that on my For You. So if you're free, but I know you're a busy guy, so no pressure. We've got Aura up here. I know she's going to have something amazing to share. But let's get the space kicked off here. I'm going to have to put the link for the bingo card, which is most important part of the space now. It's kind of overtaking the importance of Christopher's poll. Sadly, as much as I love Christopher's polls, maybe he doesn't have one today because I did kind of assault him in a panic mode in the DMs right before the space.
I'm so prepared that I have like 3 ready to go just in case.
Are you being sarcastic?
Definitely I know not coming up with one right now as we speak.
Okay, so Rich, why don't you talk about either what you have coming up, because I got a little sneak peek of it, or maybe you posted it and I didn't see it, or something that you recently posted that you want to share or something, while I try and get my shit together behind the scenes.
Yep, I can do that. My name is Rich Silver. I'm a fan of Cher. No, sorry, we're not going back there. So I have been up to a few different things lately. Most recently, I started a new community, which is kind of like a sister or brother or cousin, a collaborator community with the Collaboration Station. And basically, it's all about X. It's called Make X Great. And if you go to my profile and look at the highlights, you'll find a link to it. And I would love for everybody to please come join us, share your ideas and your hopes for what X could be. And then beyond that, I am working on a new music video, and it's actually kind of like a tribute to my other community, which is a precious metals collectors and enthusiasts community with like a focus on silver. And so I kind of wrote like a thank you letter to them, and then I put it into lyrics. And I was like, this is pretty good. And so now I'm trying to make a music video for it. And I shared like the very first start of it with Kate earlier in DM and Christopher, and they both like it. So, and I'm actually using Sora for the video generations for that. And I usually use Luma to create videos because Luma does an amazing job. And so I just wanted to, see how the competition does. And I'm pretty impressed with Sora too. But I will say Luma is a lot faster. They both kind of have their things, But I'm pretty new to Sora too. And then I've been trying out GPT-4o, the new image generation where you can like include a ton of text and it like puts it in the image pretty well. Every once in a while, there's like a word or two that's not quite spelled correctly, but you can edit it and you can like loop that word and then you can have it give you a new version. The only problem with that I've noticed is when you do the edit, it kind of darkens the image darker than what it was before. But again, this is new to me, so who knows? I'm messing around with it. But yeah, that's what I've been up to lately. What about you, Christopher?
All right, well, I'm going to just cut in there. We're going to get into some of those things that you talked about because you gave a lot of stuff. I want to talk about them more. And then, but first, yes, we have the poll ready for Christopher to unveil and describe. And then also that's pinned up above. And you also find the link to the bingo card, the button to access your bingo card is at the bottom of that page. You just scroll to the bottom. It says get my bingo card. All right, Christopher, all yours.
So the poll today is what killed the dinosaurs? Your options are asteroid, virus, Gen Z, or other. And yes, this is also an open question, which is also technically a poll.
No, it's not an open question because you can give a poll response and then choose
an open question.
And then you could choose other if you wish. Anyway, so already, if you have your bingo cards up, there already are some X's that you can check off already before you even really started the show. So, Rich, I want to talk about your communities that you have one that's established, that's built up. We have this one that we've worked together on to kind of build up and establish, and then we have this new one. So maybe we can talk about like your established one, the silver community, and kind of what you've learned as growing that. Like, when did you start that community?
Yeah, so the Silver Stackers and Collectors community was started in September 2023, and it's been slow. It's been slow growing, but it's been steady, real growth with like real people who have a real interest in the topic. It is definitely a very niche community, so it doesn't get as many members joining as like, your kind of blanket generic like creator community or something like that. But there's a very, I want to say a very engaged group of followers within the silver community. So it's just trying to find those right people to come in. And I think we've gotten there. Like, we're almost to 1,700 members, which is pretty great. We have a lot of active members who share images of what they're collecting. Like, every single day, they'll share news and insights about the markets, different information about like silver and different precious metals mining companies and stuff like that. And we have 4 moderators now. And yeah, it just keeps growing. I've done 1 giveaway so far, and I think I am going to do another giveaway because there is another silver collectors community that's kind of popped up. And they're kind of like running this big silver squeeze campaign, which isn't anything new. Silver squeeze, it's like hashtag silver squeeze. It's been going on for like, I want to say like 5 years now, and it kind of pops up a couple times a year. Kind of started on Reddit, and basically what it is, it's trying to campaign and get everybody out there to go coordinate their purchasing of silver on the same day. And it's to kind of put a squeeze on like the markets and the availability of what's out there through the dealers and the bullion companies. So then they have to go make orders, and pretty much it just puts a squeeze on everything, because we all believe that the silver markets are heavily manipulated, and there's way more paper contracts out there for physical silver than the physical silver that actually exists. And so the more that we squeeze it, the more that comes to light. And so, yeah, and I don't know if it's actually going to happen. It's just something that we're doing. And I'm not a huge proponent of it, but hey, I will take any opportunity to buy silver. So yeah, March 31st is the silver squeeze. So I'm thinking about doing another giveaway for that, where like people post pictures of what they purchased within the community and like give away a coin or something like that. But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Okay, so here's a good question for you. Are there more pictures of silver than there is physical silver out there? Because people can copy pictures.
Oh yeah, that's totally true. And that is a big problem with the community, especially on Reddit. You will see a lot of people posting images and you're like, I've seen that before. And so you grab it really quickly and you do a reverse search and you're like, oh yeah, this has been shared a million times. And so some people will actually write their name, on a piece of paper or whatever and put that on there. But now with AI, like, who knows? You're right. There's definitely, that's a good question, Christopher. I don't know.
Like, people are so retarded. Like, seriously.
Okay, so what's the benefit of that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's being like, I have silver,
yeah,
so
it's like a clout
me.
thing, right? Is that what we're going for?
Exactly. It's a clout thing, and people see that you're a big stacker and you got a big stack and they start following you. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Christopher.
Lame.
Okay, so I want to get off the actual silver specific topic because, that's like niche, like you said. But I think that the building of your community is a good thing, and it's something that we can all learn from. So, taking time with it, right? So it took a couple years to get to where it is today, and making sure that people are active in it or engage. What do you do? Engage with the content. You pin posts occasionally from the members, right? To keep people engaged in it. What other strategies have you done? I know you've done one space in there, but what other
Yeah, we've
things?
only done one space, and it was like a celebratory space for one of our moderators' birthdays. I do want to have a meet and greet space, and I think that one of the keys to keeping a community active is having regular spaces. So I know that's something I really need to do. And the other thing is, yeah, I just get in there and I engage every day. I go into the community every day. I see who's posting. I try to comment on their posts. Yeah, we do multiple posts, pinned posts throughout the week to kind of like celebrate our members and give them the spotlight from time to time. And if I see stuff that I like that is not being posted within the community, I will quote post it into my own community. And for one, hopefully that person will see that my community is there and they'll join and they'll start posting into it. And like if it's great content, I want to share it to the people within my community. So yeah, I think the number one thing is just being engaged. Oh, and also if you have moderators, set up like a side group chat with them. It doesn't have to be active, and it probably shouldn't be active because a lot of people don't like super active group chats, but it is important to stay connected with them so that if there are any issues or anything going on within the community, you can kind of just send out one message that goes out to all the moderators. So yeah, those are my tips.
So does anyone ever bring up alchemy in the community, or is that like distasteful to bring up?
Well, there's nobody brings up alchemy, Christopher.
Well, it's interesting. I like that point that's because it's used in many chemical processes, right? And for example, photography was one that it was used early on for silver plates and stuff. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, but that
my mind eventually immediately went to changing like lead to gold,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But I guess, what is it? Chemistry got to start with alchemy, right?
Yes. And I want to just thank everyone who's popped in, joining us. We're just doing a creator showcase today. It's a chance to maybe meet some new people, see what people are up to, maybe talk about what you're working on or something that you've put out recently that you're excited about. And we've got some people up on stage already. Thanks for joining us. And I will just keep the discussion kind of here between me and my co-hosts. If anyone here wants to chime in and has something that they want to talk about, just throw your hand up, and then I'll make sure we give you some attention, some love to talk about whatever you've got going on. And anyone down below listening, you're welcome to request the mic and do the same at any time, even if you just want to introduce yourself or have a question, creator questions. We get into all kinds of stuff, but you're just welcome to listen, of course, as well. And we appreciate you dropping a hi down below in the purple pill, giving us a repost. Thank you to those who already did that. And play along with the bingo. You can get your bingo card down below in the purple pill or pinned up above. I've also pinned up above Rich's silver community if you want to check that out, if you're interested in what he's been talking about specifically. And then also we will talk about his newest community here, the Make X Great. And maybe you want to talk about how this might be different than your, niche community, very specific to one of your hobbies and interests, to something that's a more general X community. So you want to talk about that for a minute? I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on you today, Rich, but you're doing a lot. And so I think featuring what you do is important because people know maybe just one part of you and might not know the other parts and what you got going on. So want to talk a little bit about the Make X Great community that you started, and I'll get that pinned up top.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kate. I don't bring these things up so much, so I'm happy that you're there to pull it out of me. I appreciate that. Yeah, Make X Great. It is a new community just focused on X. So basically, if you're on X and you like X and you see things about X that you want changed or improved, join the community. This community is for you. We have Kate as a moderator. We have Aura as a moderator. And then we have a couple other. We have Mars and we have KSJ as moderators. And Aura, really, she's kind of like what kicked off this whole idea. Honestly, she's what got my mind thinking about this, and a lot of people. She's kind of worked with many, many different creators on the platform to brainstorm and to share their ideas about how X can be a better place. And I actually need to connect with you, Aura, to get some of that information and try to put that into the community, because the point of the community is to have all of that in one spot, all of our ideas, all of our hopes, all of our aspirations, any sort of glitches you see about X. If you make tutorials or any sort of like how-to guides about X, please post that within the community. I just want it to be all in one spot. And when X does start asking the questions about like how the platform can be better, what are the biggest complaints about that the creators have and stuff like that, I want them to come to our community and to be able to search and to see what we're talking about just in one spot and have them be able to find that easily. And I am also building a website too, makexgreat.com. And all of the information that is shared on the community, I'm going to slowly try to put that out there on the web too. And I think that that is going to bring the search engines, anybody like that's searching for information about X, because there's not a lot that's out there that's able to be found by like Google and stuff like that. I don't know if they're burying it or if just a lot of people haven't built it out yet. So I'm going to try to make it very search engine friendly so that people will find the site, and through that they will find the community and vice versa. So yeah, I have a lot of hopes and wishes for it, and I think it can be pretty great.
Hey, Rich, I want to interrupt.
No, go ahead. I need a drink, so please.
You just did?
Yeah. So, I'm looking at this bingo card, and I've got to say, I don't see anything that Rich specific on here. I think Christopher has been given way too much weight, and that Rich needs to be included on the bingo card. Nothing against you, Christopher.
Funny thing about that is that I've totally lost control of the bingo card. Like, I have no input whatsoever anymore. It's been taken from me.
Well, yeah, that's all Kate. You know how she is.
You know what she's thinking about all day long.
Yeah, no, Rich, I think that the website's a great idea because searching for anything on X is very hit or miss. And obviously, organization is just the pits. I do have all of that information. Well, what I have left of it, it's in a couple of articles. So there's 2 articles. They're crap because I never got back and edited them after I made them into articles. So I will DM you those and do with them what you will.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is a good thing to bring up. Like, I came up with the idea of the bingo, and now Kate has taken it over and brought it to the website and has full control now. This is a coup. You guys understand that?
So he's trying to start a squabble so we get one of the squares, which I'm starting to see now, like as we grow together as a couple, the squabble will be very much taken up by us. And I would like it to be someone else's squabble, but I will defend the bingo card slightly. Like, I wanted it to be personalized and a little bit prettier, as us girlies do. And so I had to vibe code that with Grok myself. So I did do the work to build it out. And all the squares you submitted to me, I just copy pasted. I did not really make many changes except for just to make the words fit better within the square. So I had to rewrite some of them. The pizzas here square is gone, which is the one that is Rich specific because that's kind of an inside joke with us. So I don't know if anyone would
like
know,
both
but Rich
moved
gets
in
food delivered like constantly.
All of our furniture is slowly disappearing into the garage.
Hey, I have a lot of food delivery services available. Like, come on, it's easy. It's pretty affordable.
Yeah, no, and it's fine. It's nothing wrong with that. Or I take that critique and I'm listening. I'm going to see how I can work that in and we can figure out a Rich specific square or 2.
I was just trying to make Chris jealous.
Oh.
I mean, technically I am jealous because I no longer have control over a thing that I once had control over. But it does look very pretty. You did a great job, Kate.
Well, you're welcome to take the code for the bingo card and put it on your GitHub and we'll link to that. Like, I don't know what else I can do, but yes, I'm taking suggestions for squares. If anyone has one for Rich that they notice that he does say the word community a lot. I think that would be a good one to put in there because he's very active in communities.
And I fumble through it. I hate saying that word. I don't know why. I feel like I have just a little bit of a lisp sometimes, and it definitely comes out when I say that word. But no, I like that you want ideas, Kate, and might I suggest that people share them in the purple pill. The purple pill. It's down there.
Not that one.
Oh, you're right. Dang it.
Okay. So let's go ahead let's give Avni a chance to share, say hello. And she's got a lot of things she's working on X. And so I'm excited to see what she wants to share today. How are you today, Avni?
Oh, I'm fabulous. It's sunny in Britain. Can you believe it? We never have sun. How's it over there?
It's chilly, but there is some sun. Yes, we had like a little bit of spring a week ago, where it was almost 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is gone now. So it's probably around 0 degrees Celsius. I'm going to do that conversion for you because it's colder and stuff. But tell us what you're working on, Omni. What do you got planned for X, or what have you did a space this morning. It was very early and I had a lot of things I had to do this morning, so I wasn't able to jump in. I wanted to because I love Will as well. He's a great host. So you can talk about that if you want, or if anything else, what you got going on.
Oh, I'll definitely talk about that. I've been enjoying co-hosting for Will. I've enjoyed it so much that I've been co-hosting for some other people, and I really want to do it more. Like, I want to put myself out there. I want to meet other people. I want to co-host more. I want to be useful. I feel like I've got a talent for it. I'm getting a little addicted, but I just don't know many people on X to be like, hey, can I co-host for you? And I also feel a little odd because I know some people have their like tight-knit groups and their circles now. So it's a little weird being completely new and just like knocking on everyone's door and going, hi, can you play with me?
I think that you can get around that awkwardness just by hanging out with people and, in their spaces. And then, it can just be a natural question eventually.
Yeah, that was my suggestion too. When she messaged me, like, I was like, oh, just pop into spaces of people you like. And if you notice that they only have one co-host, you can offer it or, message them and say, hey, if you ever need a third person up on stage to help out with the people, who's not going to accept that, especially from someone like you, Omni, that's very like outgoing and like you can just throw the mic to and know that you'll be able to put together a sentence. That's what you look for in a co-host.
You can also
I'm surprised I can put together a sentence. Sorry, Christopher.
You can also get really aggressive with it, and just say it live on the space and like, I should be the co-host. There's an open slot. Why am I not a co-host? I've been here before.
Wait, does that work? Should I do that?
I mean, I'm sure it works with a certain kind of person.
Oh, it works. That does work very well because, yeah, like, especially if someone's like a nice person, or at least pretending to be one, they will cave immediately on that. Like I would for sure. Not saying I'm pretending to be nice. Maybe what do you have to say?
That's how we got me as a co-host.
Well, I heard somebody the other day talking about they've had great success with finding an account with a space they like and then engaging with them heavily and then sending them a DM like, I'd really love the opportunity to co-host. And they said that that's working really well for them. And as a host who does, I've done mini spaces. Now I'm down to like one a week right now. Just like Rich, he was like, if you ever need a co-host, and he volunteers when he knows one of our co-hosts is going to be out. And he's always my first choice for, a fill-in or if I'm going to do a space because he brings it to the table. He does a great job and he let me know he's available. And there's a few people that I know. And the only reason why I know is because they offered, hey, can I co-host if you ever need help, give me a holler. So don't feel like you're being intrusive with that. I think that is a huge relief for me to know that I have this list of people that I can call upon if I need a co-host.
Okay, that brings a lot of comfort to me because I was a little unsure if maybe I'm treading over toes or making people uncomfortable if I was messaging them and saying, hey, I'm down to co-host. But if it makes people feel comfortable, then yeah, I'm definitely going to do that now. Thank you.
You know what you need to do is just find like really big popular spaces that are kicking off being hosted by like mega accounts and just ask for the speaker position, go up there. Very first thing, just be like, hey, can I get that co-host?
You know what? I want to try doing that, but I feel like I would not do that.
I'm totally joking because that's happened in like a Brock space a couple times and like we've made jokes. So it's kind of like an inside joke. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get you were joking. Oh, sorry. I get you were joking.
I was going to say, I totally wouldn't do that. But if you're a regular speaker in a space, then absolutely, I don't think it's out of bounds. Like, if there's only one co-host to say, hey, do you want another hand? I don't think anybody's going to feel offended or pressured at that. But if you're a brand new person in a space, then no, don't do that.
I think it would be really uncomfortable, no, for like a host to have somebody be like, give me the co-host. And then they're kind of in that situation where they're kind of forced to do something. So I don't think I would ever do that, honestly.
I was just thinking while we were talking about this is Diligent Denizen, a big account who does a lot of political spaces. He also has a community called X Spaces Hub, and you can jump in there. And occasionally he hosts a space. I don't know if he does it in the community or not, but I think once a week he was doing it. I don't know.
He has it.
Okay. So sometimes he does like the new to spaces tips and tricks type of community, a chance for people to come up and talk and speak who maybe are new. And that's something where you could go and say, hey, I want to co-host more. If anyone needs a co-host, like that's a good place to put that out there, because a lot of sharks, if you will, a spaces hosts will be in there listening, seeing who's looking for that kind of stuff, or who they can like draft to the squad and have available to be speaker. And because we're always looking for speakers, especially if you're doing regular spaces. Like you want to have like a row of speakers that you can count on that will show up. I'm pretty lucky because we just have like some really great accounts that like to engage and get up here and chat with me. But it's also a good thing to just have like, I know 5 people I could send a DM to. If for some reason this space doesn't go out to people, I want to be able to have a list of people that I could send a DM to and be like, hey, can you join me up on stage? Just get the space rolling, no pressure. And so if you go to those spaces like that one that Diligent does on occasion and just put out there that, hey, I'm looking to co-host more or be a speaker more or whatever, they'll put you on a list and you might hear from people. So that's another strategy.
So this is interesting. He is very popular, and you would expect him to make a community that's specific to his content, but instead he made one that's more generalized and, about spaces instead. So is that a better strategy, do you guys think?
Yeah, that it is interesting, right? Because it's like he's very much a political, but I think before he was just like, I like doing spaces. Like, I think that's his thing. Aura.
Yeah, he was talking about, just that spaces were really what he built his account on. And before it was everything you posted in the community was on your timeline. Like I started What the Cluck to separate the X from my content because I didn't want to become some X guru. So now it doesn't matter because everything's out there for everyone. But I think it made sense before all your community posts were on your feed.
Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And then, of course, these spaces here that we do, it's a great mix of accounts. So anyone down there listening, there's some great people down there that I know have tossed around the idea of doing spaces. And so, Avni is always interested in doing it. So you can, if it's a topic that she may be able to help out on, or even just like I helped Rich co-host for Rich when he did his silver space where he interviewed somebody. And he just needed someone to sit up there, secure that spot to make sure, like, if something crashes on his end, the space doesn't get shut down immediately, right? The co-host is important for that. And then just going through and making sure the people that come up on stage are legitimate accounts and not trolls and stuff. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a speaker. It's definitely important that you can jump in a moment of panic and take control if needed. But a lot of the times it's like you just need someone to sit there, make sure you go through the requests and stuff like that. So even if you have a niche topic and you're thinking about doing a space and you need a co-host, you can reach out to someone like Avni and just be like, hey, I just need someone to help me out. No pressure. You don't need to speak a lot, but just be there in case I need you, right? And like I'm the same way with that. If you need someone just to sit there, I can usually do that while I'm working. Being engaged as a host and as engaged as a co-host is a little bit different where, like I have to be ready for a conversation. So just something to think about with that stuff. And when I got started in spaces, I just started asking people. Like I would go to Alex Finn when he was doing his live streams and just jump in the chat and be like, hey, who wants to do spaces? And, that community, he would attract a lot of people who are active on here all the time. And that's what I was kind of looking for. I was like, I can talk about pretty much any topic and adapt to that. So I just need to find somebody who's like active on here and daily here. And so that was a great place to look. And I think here in this community is a great place to look too, because a lot of the people here are active daily. And I think that's important to look for someone that you want to do spaces with regularly.
Yeah, I would also suggest you kind of examine what kind of speaker you are, because me personally, I need a co-host that I can bounce ideas off of. And if it's like a blank slate type person, that's not going to be helpful for me. I can only vamp for so long on any given topic.
Right. So that's why we're a good match, because I'll just keep going. Rich.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, Avni, also make sure you post in the collaboration station that you want to co-host. I don't know if somebody's already recommended that or not, but yeah, I think that you'll find some people that way because we keep recommending that people post in there to find, to connect with other creators. So yeah, that's a good way. And then also like Kate, if I don't know, she might be willing to let people kick off other types of spaces within the community eventually. I mean, what do you think about that? Other niche type spaces?
Oh yeah, I'm totally open to that. I haven't pitched it in a while in the spaces. I always have so much to kind of plug at the end of these spaces, and once we get the conversation going, there's not a lot of room for me to talk. But today it seems like this is a little bit of a different topic, so people are maybe a little bit nervous about talking about themselves, so they're not requesting the mic, which is fine. And Gunky still needs to come up. We need to talk about his new account still. He's really dragging on that one. So I'll put a little pressure in the room. And I know Chris Gallaty down there, he comes up and speaks sometimes, and he's doing a lot of really niche stuff. But when it comes to like hosting spaces in the community, I'm open to really any kind of creator topic that people would need to collaborate on. So if you're just talking about spaces, which we do, or if you're talking about like there's articles, like if you want to talk about writing, we could do a space on that, or AI. We have definitely done spaces specifically on AI, art, creativity, the creative process, like all these things that tie into being a content creator. It even could be, things more technical. Like a couple spaces ago, we had a lot of people in the small business B2B world coming in here. Those kinds of things are definitely useful for content creators, understanding money, self-worth, merchandise, creating a website, there's so many topics that you can kind of put under the umbrella of this space or this community and relate it to something that's a creator topic. And also maybe it's about collaboration in some way. So like we've done interview spaces in here with me and Christopher, as far as when he has like a big release, getting into the nitty gritty of that. What's that involved? Working with clients, that's a collaborative process, working with others and all the different components of that, different platforms, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's always open to that ideas. I'm always open to listen to pitches for stuff like that if anyone wants to host in the community. The only thing is, I do have to make you a moderator. So I do like to know who you are. And most people here, I do. So as long as I've talked to you, I kind of get a feel, get the vibes. Thanks for bringing that up, Rich. Okay, so Rich talked a lot about his stuff. Christopher, do you have something that your capstone thing's coming up soon?
Yes, probably in like a week or so.
Okay, so that's exciting. And I saw your post below. Oh, Aura also posted the X Spaces HQ community down in the Purple Pill. So you can go check that out if you want to join that community. Yeah. So Christopher, you're testing the GPT-4o image tools.
Yes. So
yeah.
Let me see. What do we do with this one? I have to actually look at it. Oh yeah. So it's not just making new images, which it is pretty good at, right? But you can also bring in external images and edit them. So I did a thing. I guess I can pin this to the space. I took like this meme of it. It's like a Muppet type character looking back and forth, like it's an awkward moment kind of thing. So I wanted to add another frame to that. And Kate actually helped me out with this because I don't have access yet. I added a third frame, which is, looking back and forth and then suddenly coming to a horrible realization. I think that would be very helpful for, as a meme, just to have that extra frame. But this is the cool thing about this kind of stuff is that we don't know what it can do as far as editing goes. We don't know what the limits are to that. So it's really exciting when a new tool like this comes out. What is it capable of? Can we think of new ways to edit an image, completely change the style, anything that we can think of. So yeah, this is where stuff really gets exciting for me.
Yes, this is really a big deal, this for image editing. And then we were also talking about just the day before image generator that came out called Rev, R-E-V, Art. That's the website. which is very similar in the way that it creates images, in my opinion. He prompted it, but the outputs anyway, it reminded me of it. And I'm like, is this just like the same app? So, okay. So Christopher pinned up above his creation with that. And then what's setting this apart? It's the text abilities, right? Is like huge. It's just like a huge leap.
Yeah, it's not just the text. I mean, it's really good at the text, and you can put a ton of text in, and it'll all be readable. It won't be messed up. But also, you can put in like 3 paragraphs worth of information, and it'll generally pick up all of it and implement that into an image, which is pretty rare, even for like the top tools. Like usually, like within like a couple sentences, you're already done with what you can do to change the image. But this kind of takes it all into account in a way that's, it's not going to be random, like it's all in one direction. So it's pretty impressive.
It is. I've been using it. I'm actually playing around with it right now while we're in this space, Christopher. And something I have noticed though is, so occasionally you'll have issues with the images that it generates, and so you'll request to edit it. And every time it does that, like I've done that 5 or 6 steps now, and the image just changes. It doesn't just edit the portion that you either loop or that you tell it to edit. It recreates the whole image with the same likeness, but every time it changes it just slightly. So almost it's like the game of telephone where it's like telling itself, like it's just like what I have now after like the 6th iteration is totally different than where I started, but still the same. But it's cool. I'm loving it so far.
Yeah, Kate and I were messing around with OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0 model and trying to do that. And yes, if you have like multiple images in a thread, it's like talking to the guy from Memento. He can only remember like 5 minutes into the past, and it's gonna like randomly pick another image and edit that instead. So it's not exactly ready for prime time, unfortunately, but it'll get better, I'm sure.
Yeah, if this is just like the first day, it's pretty amazing. And there's so many amazing examples that have been posted. My timeline has been filled with it this morning. So it's exciting to see what we can do with it. And I found a very good use, a lot of heavy lifting for their website. And one of the things that they do is they constantly host workshops and different classes at their yoga studio. So I'm always making graphics for them. And one of the things is like, okay, I have to go into Photoshop, get the template, get an image, change the text, resize it, all these different things. And so I tested the 4.0 I took one of the cards that I use for one of the workshops and then told it to change the words on it, just put the different title and then change the image so it makes sense for that class. And it really did a good job. It wasn't perfect, but boy, it was like, I could use it. Like I could definitely use that image. I just had to, the photo filter on it was a little bit off. And I mean, talk about like nitpicking. Definitely the color palette was fine. It's just that it was a little bit too high contrast for the style that I had applied to these images. So I asked it to reduce the contrast and it did it. And the final image I got was I'm actually going to be using. I already put it on the website. So this is where it's going to save me a lot of time. Like I have to make these images for my clients. So it takes me maybe, 10 minutes. Now it's going to take me, I can prompt it, put it into 4.0. It doesn't really matter how long it takes for that to generate because I can go do other things while that's doing it, right? It just frees up that time. So really, instead of taking me, 5 minutes or 10 minutes to make it, it's taking me just a few seconds because even though it is the process of generating takes time, I can do other things while that's going on. So for me, it frees up that time.
So I was curious. Okay, so the image generation, the update is in 4.0, but 4.5 is the more superior GPT, right? Can 4.5 do the image generation also, or is that exclusive to 4.0?
So yeah, 4.0 is for the image generating. And you can use in Sora. So if you're in Sora, Rich, there's a new image thing on the left side. You can go in the image for images there. So you don't even need to open up the ChatGPT interface. But the 4.5, I think that's just for deep research. I think that's their research model. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So, but I don't think you can do, if you do images in there, it's probably Dolly. I don't know. Someone can maybe test that, or maybe it doesn't generate images. I don't know.
4.0 has access to all the little tools and extensions. That's why it's got this one first. Yeah, so like the forefront model doesn't necessarily have those things set up yet. I think it's just like we'll push this out as fast as possible because it's the best just for in general. And then the other, like one back is, you know, the ones that can use the tools correctly.
Yeah, so test it out for your memeing, for your content. I really am excited to see what Aura can do with it, because I know prompting for images is really in depth and stuff. So I'm excited to see what it does for your images, and if it keeps that style and the vibes and everything that you very much have for your images. So looking forward to see that. And Avni, you've had your hand up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, jump in.
I honestly don't recall what my hand was up for, but I can't see my hand up on my side. So it's glitching out for me a little bit, I'll be honest.
Ooh, anyone playing bingo? Might want to check your
I
card.
just did it. Oh,
You got a bingo?
Already?
Woohoo!
There was a bingo?
I don't have bingo yet. I need one more.
Bingo, Laura.
All right. It's okay. Well, you'll get it. There's stuff. Yeah, Avni.
Okay, now I actually have a question. The bingo thing, explain it for the newbies in the room, just in case there's people that don't get it.
Okay. Yes, up in the Projectotron, if you scroll back, you'll find the link to the bingo card, and you can play along. Now, if you win bingo, at the end, it'll tell you to prompt, it says to take a screenshot of the board and put it down below the space. So the first person to put that's the official winner, is the first person put the screenshot of their board down below the space, and then you are the winner of bingo. We confirm that's yes, there's no cheating involved. And then you win the pinned post in the community on Friday, which is a great spot. Now, Gunky won Monday's pin spot. There was a little bit of issues with that. Now, if you have a new account, unfortunately, if you have a shadow banned account, you can't pin it in the community. It wouldn't let me do it. So you had to like quote your post, and that didn't really work. I don't think it didn't get as much reach as a regular post would. So it was an interesting test. Yeah.
This is a good question. Gunky, what happened? What's going on? Why are you shadow banned?
It's because I keep changing the name and the profile picture. I like to see how it looks. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of, obviously I can do it. So I'll do it, and then I'll go find that account on my phone. I'll do it on a desktop on a 27-inch screen, and then and what does that look on it doesn't look that great. And so I change it. And the name, I keep changing the names. But I mean, that's why I ran the poll, because I'm like, I've got 20 names in my head. I just want to sort of stick with something. Where I'm at with it is I'm right this moment, I've got a studio and a workshop in my garden. So I'm clearing it all out from all the crap that's built up over the winter kind of thing, and sorting the hole in the roof, just cleaning the windows. I've got like a microphone boom, or just a sort of cheap sort of stage microphone boom, which I've clipped a bicycle handlebar mobile phone holder onto it, and that is now my camera. Basically, that's become my camera boom. I've filmed a sort of before little walkthrough. I've set up a work table under my little willow tree, and I'm just stage setting at the moment. And then once I decide a name, hopefully the community can help me with sort of some of the technical aspects. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. Off the top of my head, I'm going to do the narration post-production. So I'm not going to bother about live sound, because I might do once I know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's the plan. I've got various things, and then I'm clearing out the workshop as well. And it's just, that sort of winter crap build up. So yeah, so I'm kind of getting organized. But I did actually want to ask Rich a question.
What's up?
Do you know what a Yardo lead pencil is?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, as I was tidying up, this thing's been kicking around for years. I have no idea where it's come from. It's a Yardo lead pencil. It's a mechanical pencil, that's got like the very thin leads in, and you turn it and it pops out as you break it and use it, kind of things, like a draftsman's pencil. Anyway, it turns out this thing's, I'd looked it up and I had to put it under a magnifying glass to see it. The bloody thing's solid silver, which is why I ask you. 1939, I found one for sale in the world and it's $1,400.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm actually looking it up right now on Google. I'm looking at a Victorian one that's solid sterling that's $550. Wow, these are really cool. I think I just found something to add to my wish list this Christmas.
Oh, well, you can wish for my one if you want it. I need all the money I can get, mate. I'll stick in. I just took a picture of it. Yeah, it's been kicking around I've done so many like furniture clearances and stuff.
That's really cool.
I actually don't know where it's come from. There you go.
I have a solid sterling Tiffany ink pen, and then I have another silver pen that I don't know what brand it is. It's just an old one, but that one would be really cool.
Oh, well, I dug it up once in the garden. I've got a gold Cartier lighter.
That's nice.
Okay, I just had an idea. A buy and sell yard sale space. Like, how fun would that be? People come up. So, okay, this actually reminds me of when I was a kid, there was a radio show. Anyone who was in New England and listened to Boston radio, there was a radio show they do on the country music station, I think either Saturday or Sunday mornings. They'd have a swap meet type of yard sale radio show. You'd call in and describe the item you have for sale. I think you could do up to 3 items. And then you'd give out your phone number. And then you'd call the phone number of the person and make arrangements to buy the item. And this is obviously before Craigslist and stuff. And that was a lot of fun to listen to because people would call in with like crazy, weird things and you never knew. And if you needed something and someone's like, usually people would use the time because you'd have to wait on hold for a while to sell like more specialty items, cars, furniture, things that are like a little bit more expensive than just like, junk. But people would do that too, which would be funny. So, that's such a good idea.
That is a good idea. Because you could use the purple pill. They could like post images and stuff in the purple pill. There would just have to be some sort of, the only thing I would want is like some sort of feedback. Maybe if like whoever community like hosted these like pre-screened the sellers, like with, I don't know, but it's a great idea, Kate.
Can't you do like on eBay, can't you do like prearranged transactions so that they're the ones who are doing the vetting and you don't have to worry about it?
Right. Yeah. You'd want to do the transaction of the money through a third party. So be it like you have it for sale on PayPal, you have it for sale on Facebook Marketplace, you have it for sale on eBay, and you're just directing the people to that listing and then maybe giving an opportunity to negotiate that price or something, removing responsibility of the show or the community from any kind of liability with that. Like, that's just an arrangement. So it'd be through some if you buy something through Venmo without a contract, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, you can try and get a refund, but you have to do your due diligence on that. But it's an interesting idea and something that I forgot about. And you talking about you two doing this little exchange of like, hey, I've got this thing that you might like type of thing. I was like, oh, this would be fun. And it would be fun to listen to as well because of just the randomness of it. I want to welcome Brooklyn Brawler up on stage. Thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Good. Great idea, Kate. I love your idea. Can I just give my opinion on something that everyone could help themselves at?
Yeah, this is a creator showcase. So you're welcome to just talk about a little bit about yourself and what you do and anything else that you want in that lane. Because I know you always have something good to say. So
I'm the Brooklyn Brawl. I worked for WWE and WWF for 32 years. I've worked at Madison Square Garden 41 times. I had Dwayne The Rock Johnson's very first match when he had $7 in the bank. I've done so much. I've been all over the world many, many times. And what I want to say is I'm not special in any way. I'm just a person who had a vision, had an idea, and believed in it with all my heart and soul. And that resonated into confidence. And confidence is the most magical thing in the world. It can't be seen by anyone, but it can be felt by everyone. And my confidence took me to the WWE while everybody else was telling me I would never do it in a million years. It's too far-fetched of an idea, and I proved them all wrong. When I reached that goal, another goal opened up. I want to become successful and get a name to myself. So I used the same formula. I believed with all my heart and soul that I was going to get established with a character which is going to be known all over the world. And it happened. The biggest manager in all of wrestling, Bobby Heenan at the time, God rest his soul, he chose me to put in his family, who I was right next to Andre the Giant, and I was right next to Rick Rude, all big time wrestlers. From Steve Lombardi, he turned me into the Brooklyn Brawler. And then as soon as I became that, I says, what's my next goal? My next goal was, I want to wrestle in Madison Square Garden. And everybody says, you are reaching beyond your means. I reached beyond my means 41 times. And not only wrestled in Madison Square Garden 41 times, I main evented. It was on the billboard of Madison Square Garden at 39 years old. So I reached that goal. And then the next goal came to me. That's when Dwayne Johnson called me up and he said to me, I'm going to get into wrestling. But my dad said, if I do, I have to wrestle you. So I actually created The Rock. I had his first match. He had $7 in the bank, and he's a billionaire now. And I taught him about goals, self-belief, and just believe it with all your heart and soul. And he took it with him. He took it with him to Hollywood. He took it with him everywhere. He bought a football team. Everything he has, it turns to gold now. And all he's using is self-belief in himself. I mean, he was the highest paid actor in Hollywood because he believed that he could do it. And he did it. And my point of the whole conversation is, that's all I did. And everyone in this space has the same tools in them to do the same thing I did. You all have a unique contribution in life. And you can make your life happen any way you want and become anything you want, no matter what anyone says. No one can tell you you can or cannot, only you, because you own yourself. But there will be a lot of skeptics that'll tell you, you'll never do it, you'll never do it. I name them inspiration, because I said, keep telling me I won't do it. You're just pushing me farther and farther and farther. And I had this discussion with Toby Keith. He was a famous country singer. I'm sure everybody heard of him. And I said to him, how did the football team act when you told me you wanted to be a country singer? He said, oh, God, they ride me to death. They laughed at me. They told me it's ridiculous. No football player could ever sing country. And I said, how did it make you feel, Toby? He said, it pushed me farther. And I'm going to do it. I grabbed him. I hugged him with all my might. And I said, thank you. You just read my mind. So I'm just telling you, you all have that power in you. Everyone in this space, every single one in this space has the opportunity to become anything they want if you make a goal and just go for it. And don't listen to anyone but yourself. And don't listen to your brain. That'll really screw you up. If you listen to your brain, it'll give you like 52 scenarios. You know, this could happen, that could happen, this could happen, that could happen. Just make your goal and stick with it and forget about all the things that might happen that your brain's telling you. Because I blinked out my brain a long time ago as far as, listening to all the, maybe this will happen, maybe that'll happen. And it worked for me. But I'm not special. I'm a normal person. You cut me, I bleed, I sleep, I eat. I am no better than anyone in this space. And it worked for me. So my goal in spaces is to pay it forward and let people know that's what it takes to success. Because everyone, I had the same conversation with Jermaine Jackson. I had the same conversation with Burt Reynolds before he died. I had the same conversation with Tony Orlando, who's a good friend of mine. And they all said, that's the only way to get successful. But you telling everybody in spaces, what makes you think that they're going to listen to you? I said, Tony, if I get one person per space, I'll be happy. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Kate, for letting me express my feelings.
Yes, thank you for joining us today and sharing that. All can use a little uplift. So much appreciated. And, I was just checking out your profile, and I know you're in spaces a lot and popping in and giving your inspirational message, but then you're also posting, inspirational quotes and things. So if people who need that uplift throughout their day, probably a great follow. And I know you're never seeking out people to follow you or anything like that, but I like to do this on these showcase spaces where we show off different creators, what you can get out of following certain people. So I just like to highlight that.
Thank you very much, Kate. And thank you for letting me speak. And I'm getting a phone call, so I'm going to have to go. Thank you so much. And please, everyone, use this in your life. You all have it. Everyone has it. Just use it. Thank you very much. And I'll be back on your space again one day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And yes, it's so true. And that's just what this community is about, is an opportunity for people to use whatever it is that they have. So your special skills, your talents, your story, what you've been through, whatever it is, you can use this space and this community to highlight it and talk about it. And even if you're not sure what it is, like, what can I do with this? Like, we talking with Gunky about his new account, about this thing he does. He likes to restore old things, and like, what can we do with that? And through talking about it, realize that there's a lot of interest in that kind of thing.
That almost
and there
fits in
seems
your
to be
last idea. Your last idea of a space, showcasing items that you want to sell. I love that idea. But
I do too.
But I got to go. I wish everyone in this space great success, health, and happiness.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Brawler.
Yeah, I thought he had left already. So that's why I was just rambling on. But yeah, so that idea of, how you can take your skill, something that you're already doing, and translate that into what you're putting out on X or in spaces on your account and all this stuff. So I think what I always try and do is that when I listen to people, and if you follow Brooklyn Brawler around or you've heard him in spaces before, he kind of drives the same message home over and over again. But what I really like to do is take whatever someone is saying and interpret it into what I'm doing and how I can use that. There's a lesson in everything. And I may not, everything he said, I'm ready to hear or ready to do or ready to implement, but I can take a piece of it, of what it is, and put it into what I'm doing. So that's what I was just trying to do with what he was saying there, and how we can apply it to X. So want to welcome Leonard on stage. Thanks for joining us today. How are you?
How are you doing, Kate? I'm doing good. I came up on this space because that's why I was here. But the space is fine because I had a dream to talk about this for a little bit. I've done this in a while. Listening to you guys. Is my television bothering you, or am I okay with the one ear part in my ear before I continue?
Yeah, you're welcome to share.
Understanding what you're saying. Maybe it's the background music.
No, I'm just okay. That's what I was asking, whether there was noise in the background. I just paused my TV for a minute. Yeah, let me say this. So I don't know if you don't know this. Okay, Mommy knows this. Kate doesn't, but I'll say this. When I started my podcast journey, I started on a tablet during COVID because I was bored. I've decided to change that because I was, because my dream is still to talk with people and do things like that. But it wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was getting two listeners an episode. I said, it's too much work, so I decided to change it. But I didn't let my dream go. Like Brooklyn Paula said, don't let your dream go. Continue it. Back to you, Kate.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today, Leonard. Yeah, because I've seen you in Avni spaces. I've talked to you before, and it's great to have you here, one of ours. And, this is how you meet new people on here, is just kind of branching out into different spaces. And if you follow an account, following them into other spaces and see who they know, and then you kind of grow your network that way. So, yeah. And I have been taking these spaces, recording them, and putting them out as podcasts as well. So it's a fun little thing. It can be easier than you think it is, because like we're up here talking. We have a regular show that we do. We kind of have a theme to that show. So we talk for 2 hours. There's a podcast, and when you look at someone like what Joe Rogan does, the probably biggest podcast, I think we can all agree with that. And it's just him and someone else having a conversation. It doesn't have to be much more than that, I don't think. So, I'm trying it out, seeing if it builds the audience, maybe reaches new people, brings them here to X. It's kind of a fun idea. Yeah, go ahead, Leonard.
I'm sorry, I got a question for you. How are you doing that? Because that can be a little bit cumbersome. What are you using as a piece of tech to record it and then bring it up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I have an idea for you. I have something sitting on my desk that may work for you. I'm not telling you anything. I'm keeping it, but I'm just gonna give you a pointer if it fits you.
Yeah, no, it's definitely my way of doing it isn't the only way, and there's lots of different ways. So after I share how I do it, you're welcome to share how your suggestion works, because there's definitely other people who are trying this, and there's different methods might work better for different people. So I have a StreamYard account, and I screen record the space through my alt account on my laptop and an incognito tab. And then I have it just recording that way. And then I can take from that, I can take just the audio file. It also does record it obviously as a video, but that is a little bit more work. So I just do the audio for now, and it's very quick and efficient. And I can take that into Adobe Premiere, and that will take the ums out of the space, and it probably just cut out what I just said, which is funny. So the people who are listening to the podcast will be like, what? Yeah, they're not going to understand. It's going to be a clip. Yeah, the word you and any pauses. So if there's any awkward pauses, it does cut those out pretty quickly. And it does a great job at that. And then I can just export it and upload to Spotify. So it's a pretty quick and easy process. A little bit of a setup at the beginning, but kind of once I get a routine down, it's not too difficult. So yeah, that's how I do it. Not the only way. There's certainly other programs. OBS is a free version that works like StreamYard, but that is a little bit of a different beast. So I just kind of hack my way through with StreamYard for now. Yeah. So Leonard, what was your suggestion?
Okay. I have a Rodecaster Duo, that is, it's a mixing desk. What that does is that allows me to bring a Bluetooth into the phone. It allows me to do a phone call through the computer through X, but it doesn't allow me to just space it through the computer. So the suggestion it would be take a Bluetooth signal, bring it into, I would bring it in, you could bring it into your mixing desk and record it on your SD and then just put that out, put that out there. That's one of the ways, that's an easy way to do it. If you want to put music in your background, you can do so. It's got sound effects. You can do a lot with it. It's not made specifically for this, for where you want to do Kate, but you can make it work. Because the problem is the computer, the website, the X app doesn't support, not podcast, sorry. It doesn't support spaces yet. So I can't go through and work and do them on my computer, because that would make my life easier. Because the Bluetooth is difficult because sometimes it doesn't work correctly. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So for me, it's like, once I find a simple way of doing something and I can just kind of set it up, and I can do it for many, many different things. It's very fast, easy, and I have a little workflow. It helps. And I'm also live streaming the space on my page as well. And I'm live streaming on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So hopefully that can bring in maybe other listeners. As it's recording it, it's just broadcasting it out at the same time. So it's a helpful tool. I think I will probably go with a different way of doing it soon. But for now, it's working fine. And StreamYard kept me at a lower rate when I threatened to quit. So I will be just using that until I have to pay too much. And it's just too much of a pain point, the pricing. So for now, this is working, but I will be trying out alternatives soon. So thanks for your suggestion.
What about Zoom? Zoom is free for 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. This is a 2-hour show. So yeah. Go ahead, Christopher.
I was just going to say that's a good tactic to get it for cheaper instead of threaten to, remove your subscription.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, this is a tactic that does work. It doesn't always work, but it can. If you just hit that cancel button, sometimes it will just cancel it. And sometimes it'll take you to a page that says, hey, try it for less money for another 3 months or something. So, if that happens, I kind of like, all right, I'll, you got me. You got me. Sometimes it doesn't, though. It depends on what it is. So yeah, just thanks for joining us, Leonard. What kind of content are you creating these days besides your podcast?
It was okay. It was a disability podcast. Now it's going to turn into something more mainstream. It's going to be food, friends, and relationships, which means I want to talk about different fast foods. I'm going to try to bring people in from other countries to talk about the fast foods and the relationships that we built here. And because it is a relationship, but there's something I want to say. Something I want to say about talking about all this. Relationships here are kind of difficult because sometimes you don't understand people's boundaries. You think, oh, I'm not bothering you too much, and all of a sudden they block you and they don't tell you, oh, you're doing that wrong. That's something that I see here a lot, and it's annoying.
Awesome. Great idea. Cool. So thanks for sharing that. And I don't know if you're in the community yet, you should request to join. And then as you develop your podcast and start putting out episodes and stuff, you can share it in the community. And you can always play bingo. Again, reminder, there's the bingo card up top. If you win bingo and you share your winning board down below, you will get the pinned post in the community on Friday. So if you have something you really want to promote and get out in front of some eyeballs, that's a great way to do it. So thanks for that, Leonard, and for joining us. And I want to welcome to the stage, we've got Dan up here. Good to see you, Dan. We got Chris Gallaty up here, and I see Robert. It's a new speaker. I don't know if we've met before. So since Robert jumped up here while I was chatting with Leonard, I want to say hi to Robert. If you want to share a little bit about yourself, say hi to the space, you're welcome to.
Hello, everyone. I was just sitting back listening. And then I have a question, like, is my mic echoing where it sounds like I have a list?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. I know Christopher. We share a space within Luma for the content creators program, and we're always sharing work and things of that nature. So it's a pleasure to meet all of you guys, and I'm happy to be here, meet other creators and speak to other creators within Mass. I'm going to hand it over. I don't really know exactly which topics to touch base on, so I just want to go with the flow instead of enforcing a conversation to say.
Yeah, well, that's perfectly fine. This is like a creator showcase. So you do AI stuff or anything. What is your account about? And then, people can decide if they want to follow you or not or get to know you better.
Oh, okay. Well, mainly it's about AI, of course. And at the same time, I'm more of a cinematic guy. So I try to focus more on creating, how can I say this, more AI content where it's just extremely real. You couldn't distinct between if it was real or fake. To say I do have a particular idea, say, for instance, within the future, there will be producers, directors, studios asking us AI generative creators to create, say, for instance, 10-minute to 15 or even 20-minute segments, which will actually cut down on their costs. And at the same time, I believe that the tools that we use will absolutely get better where it, how can I say this, exceeds traditional forms of creation, such as like 3D animation or CGI, to say, considering the fact that we work more with pixels versus, like, if you ever been in a 3D animation, you work with polygons, vertices, and edges. Then, of course, you got to hit it with the turbo smooth. What we do now allows more detail versus what was done. So that's just the thing about it. And yes, if you do want to follow me, I'm more into like the cinematic look. So let's not say hyperrealism, which is a form of art. Let's just say lifelike, to say. And I add certain film grading where it's more fulfilling. And it's just that right there. And I'm at this point, I'm going to go along with the flow. I don't want to enforce conversations. I want to flow more with the group and allow it to feel more natural and comfortable for everyone listening.
Very cool. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. And, this space, this community, it's just all about all the different creators. It's a place to, share a little bit about what you do and everything. So that's perfect. Great introduction. And I definitely followed you because I'm into all this stuff too. And this is how it's like very self-serving for me because I like to find creative people and people doing interesting things on here. So that's why I host these spaces, because it's very hard to find them. And until they drift into a space or someone that I'm following, or I meet in here and then I can see who's they're following, going into spaces with them and seeing what they're doing, who they're interacting with. So that's how they build these networks. And then the idea of the community, the collaboration station, is just about connecting with those people and then seeing like, okay, is there something that we could do together for a project? Or do I need this person's help? Or do I have a question that they might know the answer to? Or am I able to help out somebody that's in here? We get a lot of questions in this space. So you never know who pops in. So thanks so much for joining us. And you're welcome to jump in the conversation at any point if you have something to add. So more than welcome to do that. And yeah.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm excited to be here, to be able to speak to other creators and grow, like legitimately growing. It is extremely important for everyone to grow. So, as I'm here today, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to listen. I'm excited to learn. And at the same time, I'm going to give away some mood boards. One of them is inspired by Sam Levinson. He is the creator and director of Euphoria. That was one of the first mood boards I created. And another one is it was a second mood board for me. It was Oscar inspired, and I don't plan on deleting them. Therefore, people can use them. So by combining them or using them individually, just understand, like, say, for instance, in order to get some more of a cinema look, you might want to hit it at like stylization 80 and below. Usually for the Sam Levinson mood board, it's going to be, I'm just going to put it in the comment section. It's going to be UQ2 ITF4. And it's more of like an orange grading depending on the particular situation. But at the same time, it's more cinematic and it's beautiful. It's fulfilling. Trust me, I'll put some tricks in there. And then when it comes to the Oscar style, hit it at stylization from like at least 0 to like 30. And if you do combine them both, just work from 0 to 80. And I'm telling you right now, it'll look extremely well. I want everybody to be good based upon this one particular reason. If you guys get good, the models get better based upon the information that you feed it. If we keep feeding it things that are so-so, then we aren't actually having any development. There's plenty of opportunity to go around based upon this one particular thing. I am old enough to know when I was, I want to say 18, 19, let's just say a particular administration came in. Look, I'm not a political enthusiast or anything, but at that given time, they had put the regulations so hard where the tech industry didn't really get funding. So for the guys that actually made it out, they were extremely phenomenal at what he did. Right now, we have no regulations, so we need to build on the ground that we have now because we don't know what it's going to be like in the next 4 years. So it is in our best interest to grow as fast as we can and at the same time, take this very, very seriously because we are pioneers of this brand new culture. So I would truly like to express that. At the same time, I will be placing those mood boards in the comment section for anyone who wants to use them.
Awesome. Thank you for coming up, and I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, and I want to translate that for everyone here that I was talking about Midjourney mood boards, I believe. Yes. And so if anyone who uses Midjourney, you can use these codes that he's giving to apply the styles to your images. It's fun to experiment with. And a lot of, I talked about this in the previous spaces. Midjourney is a great place to play around with image generation. And with the free account, that you can get some in there, some practice, some understanding of how it works. And then with the $10 a month, you can do a lot with, that's all I'm using right now. And I can do a lot with that. So if you dabble in it with the free, you can see if it's creating things that's interesting to you and you want to get more into it. That $10 a month can get you a lot. And the interface on the website's very user friendly. So we have people from all kinds in here. So I just kind of like to translate a little bit of the like in the weeds AI stuff so people can get encouraged to try new things and experiment with it. And that we're not affiliated with Midjourney in any way. They don't have any kind of partner programs, I don't think. And so, you know, this is just based off of what we like to use for image generation. Midjourney is definitely up there and people should give it a try. So thanks for sharing that with us, Robert. And, you know, once you kind of people, if they are using Midjourney, you can definitely take those and run with them right away. Like he was describing in detail about what he prefers for the styling and the weights to give. But for anyone who's just dabbling and has never tried it before, you can take those, paste it in there, and see what it can do for your images and just have some fun. Yeah, I think that covered it. Christopher or Rich, do you have anything to add to that to maybe translate it?
No, you said it perfectly.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, Robert. It's great to meet you. I did follow you already, so I must have really liked some of your content, somewhere along the way. But it's good to finally, hear you and put a voice to the face. And yeah, I'm part of the Luma Creative Partner Program too. So hopefully I'll see you in one of those spaces or something one of these times. And then really quickly, I wanted to ask both of you, Christopher and Robert, do you remember the prompt that you do on the Discord server for Midjourney, where it like gives you your stats, like how many images you created and all that jazz?
I think it's /info.
Yep,
Okay.
it's just /info. That's all that it is.
Awesome. Thank you. I was trying to figure that out earlier today, and I just thought of it again. I was like, oh, I'm just going to ask these guys. Cool. Thank you.
Oh, no problem at all. Midjourney, once you make it to 10,000 images, it actually gets pretty cool because you have the style transfer in the editor. But, one of the things that I think people should focus on, especially if they honestly want to do really, really, really good work, is figuring out their styles. Like, say, for instance, whatever projects you have, whether it would be real cinema, whether it be cartoons and things of that nature, it's nice to say, hey, we use Midjourney. But just as of recently, I started using, it's called Google AI Studio. So I found out this really, really nice little workflow trick where you can get different perspectives, like how omnireference is about to be. But I figured it out prior to even making it to omnireference. And I'm more than willing to share that. So I'll place that in the comment section as well. Pretty much all you must do is just submit the image and ask for a different perspective. That's legitimately all that it is. So now it'll give you the perspective, but at the same time, it comes with the watermark. Of course, there's things where you can remove the watermark or just invest into Google AI Studio. At the end of the day, you can get so many different perspectives with, how can I say this, the same character and the same items within the same place. And then now all you have to do is just generate your images and then just start layering them over each other if need be, or just right next to each other in whatever post-production program that you actually use. Apply the sound as well. It makes the process a lot easier because based upon Luma right now with our extensions, pretty much the grading falls apart, I want to say at like, whether it be the 10-second marker or the 13-second marker. Regardless of the situation, this is an easier workflow where we can just do, a cut transition and the grading still remains the same with this particular strategy.
Awesome. Some very, very high level stuff here. This is great tips. And this is awesome. And I really like having like beginner content and then also like this more advanced type of creator content tips and stuff, because I like to translate some things, but then also some things it's like, okay, if you understand what he's talking about, this is super useful and super helpful. So we're going to just go with that. And, thanks so much for sharing those things. This is super helpful. And actually, if anyone wants to listen to this again and really go back and listen to what Robert's talking about here and apply it to their stuff they're creating, you can, of course, listen to the replay of the space. But I also have pinned above the link to the Spotify, which will be the podcast format. And I will have this episode out to listen to there as well. So it's just a little bit easier to find. If you follow the podcast, it will be in your Spotify account. You can go in and find this episode, Creator Showcase number 46, and that will be there. And you can kind of scrub through or listen to it again and find this section with all that info. So good stuff. Thanks so much for hanging out and joining us. I want to say hi to Honey Badger up on stage joining us. Good to see you. Dan did hop up here before you, so I want to go to Dan first and check in with Dan, see what's up with him. What are you working on? What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on? So I actually saw a notification. I grabbed the speaker position just to let you know this because you were talking about it at the time. But I saw a notification for your live stream. Didn't realize that's what it was, but I was in another space. And when the space ended, I was like, oh, I want to join Kate's space. So I went to the spaces tab and I didn't see it there, which is odd because I'm in your community and I follow you. And so I was like, so I checked the notifications tab, ended up seeing that it was a live stream notification. From there, I was able to click on your profile after seeing the live stream showed you were definitely running a space and then join the space. So you were talking about maybe trying something new or discontinuing that, I just wanted to let you know that that was the only way I found the space easily. And I actually got a notification for the live stream. So it's just some good reach there. I hope that feedback's helpful. As for what I do, I'm actually a little tied up at the moment. Let me grab the mic later and we'll pass it on.
Yeah, thanks, Dan, for that. Yeah, feel free to throw your hand up and I'll jump back to you if you get a chance, you want to share what you're doing. Yes, this is exactly why I do a live stream broadcast, because spaces, when you are trying to actually find the space that you want to go in, you know what's going on. It's so hard to find them. And, anything that I can do to make it a little bit easier for people to find me, I am absolutely doing it. And a live stream is a little trick for that. So there's definitely people that have wandered in here, never even knew the space was going on because they saw the live stream randomly on their feed or whatever. So thanks for that, Dan. I'm glad to get verification that that does work. And yes, Honey Badger, good to see you. How you doing today?
Hey, Kate. Actually, I was just coming to say hello because I find it more effective to join my friends' spaces to be able to say hello and chat with them than on like the timeline. You know what I mean? And so, well, because you don't always see everybody's posts and whatnot. And so I just find it like in terms of social media, I just find it easier to pop into a space and chat with everybody. Does that make sense? But since the reason I put my hand up just now is because I'd actually never tried to start a live at the same time I'm doing the space. So do you start the live from your computer and then do the space? Okay, that's what I thought. That was my question. So you just start the live and then, but like then how do you marry the two? That's the one thing I don't know how to like connect the two, like the space and the live.
Yeah, it's not the easiest. It's total hack workaround. So I have my space is going on my phone and I have that next to me here on my little tripod. And then I have my laptop in front of me, and on my laptop I have my alt account opened up. I use an incognito tab just so I don't get like any kind of weird like IP login issues, but I'm logged in on my alt account and I'm in the space down below as Gary, my funny chat bot that I have. So that I'm screen recording the space through that tab using StreamYard. And there's other apps for that, but I'm just using StreamYard to screen record that and broadcast it as a live stream. So, and that's going to my profile. Yeah.
That's hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, it's a great idea. Great. But yeah, because I've seen other people do that. I just didn't realize that the conundrum, because I have an alt account. It's just called Honey Badger's Twin, right? But I like never use it because like everything, like all the pictures and stuff show up as marked sensitive because it's not verified. But what am I going to do? I only have one telephone number. Yeah, no, I like all of my what do you call it? My regular posts and my reposts show up as long as there's no media. So even if I like reposted, let's say something you did and there was a picture, the picture wouldn't show. It would be marked sensitive. So I don't do that, But I really don't use the alt account. It's just kind of like if, or God forbid, this account ever gets moved. That's the only reason I have it. And I did lose access a couple of times over some phishing incidents that happened to me. But fortunately it was very, very temporary. So yeah, I probably should like invest more time and energy in understanding the workarounds because I really haven't. And, I think anything ethical to improve is kind of like shame on me if I'm not doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the thing is, I was really motivated to do this because I just know the value of these spaces and I wanted to record them, and I know that there's ways to get them after the fact, but it's like, I know myself and I'm going to like not do that because something else is going to get in the way.
It's very not practical because you got to like download everything to download.
Well, I actually do. I actually do. What do you call it? Like screen grab and like share recordings from spaces. But I think what you're doing trumps is people want to be part of the conversation. And if they don't see the conversation, they can't be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think about this all the time. It's like when I'm a fan of somebody and I want to follow them around and I want to hear them speaking or I want to see their content or whatever, when I miss it, I'm kind of pissed, and it's like either I just didn't get the message or they didn't send it out. So there's like a lot of like gaps that I'm missing with my content. I know there's a few people that probably feel that way. Like maybe I put out something and they missed the post. Like I didn't post this morning about this space and I feel bad about that because there's probably some people who maybe missed it. So any way that I can just like get it out there for people that like, there might be people who think about that. Like I think about some people like, oh, I'd be upset if I missed it and I want to be able to find it. So I try and make it as easy to find as possible. So, I'm live streaming it out because I am recording it as I'm going, I might as well live stream it out too. So that's another place it gets featured higher on the toggle. And in these community spaces, they don't show up in the spaces tab. You have to go to the community to find them. So the live stream, at least, will pop up like, in Dan's situation. And then also people that know me maybe on YouTube, they can maybe wander over here and be like, oh, I can join the conversation. Cool. And maybe someone I know on Facebook, maybe I know people watch it on Facebook and click through and are interested in what I'm doing. So they can create an X account, come on over and chat, no pressure, but it would be cool to have that happen. So it's just put it out there for people. And if they want to participate, they can. So hopefully the gap I'm missing though is the email list. Like it is a little bit more work to get the email made, drafted, send it out to the people that want to know and let them know like, hey, the space has started, come join us. I think that would be like the missing piece that I have that I want to finish. Yeah, Rich.
I was just going to mention from talking to Aura previously, I know she's looking to kind of dip her toes back into Facebook and like reconnect with her Facebook audience, I think. And I think it'd be cool if you guys connected because our space is a very opening space to like a very broad audience. And I think Aura's spaces are too for her What the Cluck community. And so if she could do the same thing, live stream her spaces on Facebook, her What the Cluck spaces, and then you guys could share each other's spaces to each other's Facebook accounts and try to dip into each other's audiences a little bit. You guys might have some benefit doing that.
Yeah, I will say that. Okay, so go ahead, Aura.
I was just going to say my audience on Facebook is a bunch of people that, I've accumulated over the years in working on political campaigns and activism that all hate my guts right now. So I don't think we're going to get a large audience here from them. I am trying to work to reach them and let them know that I haven't gone psycho. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a lot of love brought over for Kate. Sorry, Kate.
There's the lurkers. I am pro lurker. I love the lurkers. I'll never know they're there until they show their face. But look, people can watch a live stream on Facebook and no one knows that they're watching it. And people will know that. So if they are curious, right? That's what I'm always putting out content for the curious, like the people who are like maybe questioning things. And so, all right, so we got some hands that shot up. Robert was first. So we'll go to Robert and Gunky, then Honey Badger.
Okay, what's up, guys? It was so funny hearing about, the Facebook community and about, sharing podcasts and things like that. Did anybody ever feel as if Facebook sometimes can be anti-AI? And also at the same time, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm just going to give out my answer prior to anyone else answering. I feel like sometimes it is anti-AI. They have not advanced themselves in the technological space where, as for X.com users, we get a chance to get on here, see some of the best creators. At the same time, we get to meet directors, producers, anybody who's somebody on here is on here, especially for this newfound culture. And I don't think that Facebook actually offers that. And I was extremely curious if anyone else felt that same type of way, because I feel like the cursed AI guys create the culture there. So if anybody has other opinions on it, please let me know.
Can I just say immediately, really quickly, they may be anti-AI as far as the algorithm and stuff, but they get the people who use it get served a lot of AI content without actually realizing what it is. Go ahead, Christopher.
Yeah. There's like a big boomer contingent who gets fooled by like really old AI. That's like obviously fake. It's just like, look, there's this kid in Kenya who made an entire car out of bamboo, and they're like, wow, that's amazing. It's like a whole subculture there. You get all kinds over there.
All right, so I'll answer this too as someone who, I'm Facebook sympathetic. I'm not exactly an active user, but I know that the reality is it's still the number one social media platform in the world. Okay.
Right.
There's a lot of people on there, and the tools in there, AI is built. If you update your apps, Instagram and Facebook apps, AI is all over it. You push this button, generate something, it's create a chat bot, write your post for me, you make this image, add it to my post. It's all over the place there because Meta is a big AI company quietly. And then also I want to add this, the artist Journey, who isn't here today, he's in the community. He is huge on Facebook. So if he's on here and he pops in from time to time. I wish he was here today to talk about it. He's got a huge group over there he runs or something, a big account. So check him out if you haven't. Wilfred Lee, the artist Journey. So did that help, Robert?
Yes, it did. It did. It was a point that you had also brought up. It made me chuckle when we were all chuckling together. I kind of actually feel bad for the Facebook guys is because you mentioned like, yes, that individual does have like a massive account, which is absolutely wonderful. Of course, you're going to find them everywhere, like whether if it's TikTok, whether if it's Instagram, whether if it is Facebook. It's just as a whole and how we condition ourselves within this particular space, this website, this application to say we are a lot more advanced than a lot of people. It kind of reminds me of like 2008, 2009 tech community before the regulations actually came in, and it halted everybody's like passion or drive and things of that nature. Like everything was just hidden, like it was Area 51 when those regulations came in. So now with the regulations being gone, it's kind of like we get to hyper create, and it's absolutely amazing. And we're all collectively growing together. And I just don't think that they offer that on Facebook. Like say, for instance, we get on here, I average around like, I want to say 7,000 views per post, and that's without promotion. If I was supposed to do that on Facebook, I'm getting grilled by like anti-AI guys. You know what I mean? So that's just that. And I don't know. I'm happy to be here. That's all I'm just trying to say. I'm happy to be here. I think our culture is more advanced than any other culture. Like as we just seen Heather, was it Chris? I believe it was Chris. Was it you, Chris? You guys just work with House of David creators?
That was not me, but yeah, they never approached me. I kind of wish they did because that would have been cool. But yeah, it's on Amazon.
There you go. And then just give it a little bit more time. Omni reference is coming. This is why I'm trying to get people to create some legit stuff, is because these studios are going to want things. And then we actually do get first dibs on these things, for we are around majority of the best creators. You know what I mean? That's just honestly how I feel. And I'm happy to know you guys, but I'm going to hand it over. I don't want to talk too much. I want other people to talk as well and express themselves.
Yeah. So that was kind of wild. That's House of David. It's on Amazon Prime. And that was like 6 months ago. So you'll see, and if you know AI, you'll know that the shots are a little dated. But so even 6 months ago, they were hiring people to do quote unquote VFX shots. CGI is what I like to call it. And that angers a certain kind of person, but it's literally computer generated imagery. So I'm going to keep saying that.
And I totally agree with you, Robert. Everything you said. This is the place to be. This is where the cool kids are, for sure. And it depends, what's your audience, right? So if you're looking to make these big deals and can make connections and the networking and stuff, this is the place to be in lots of spaces, in particular with the AI. And I think, Christopher, too, you mentioned LinkedIn is another sneaky place
unfortunately,
for that.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. So like if those are the types of connections, that's how you have to understand in general, everyone here, like where your time is best spent, right? So if you're looking to just like grow a really cool like creator account, you want to have your own like influencer type of thing, it's a different strategy than what Christopher and Robert are going for, right? So, or if you want to try and do both, like what is your ultimate goal? And once you have that sorted, that where your energy is spent will kind of make sense. So this X is the place to be. I love it. I love it here. I know my audience is probably on Facebook, to be honest. I should probably spend more time there, but I hate it. So I am here because I love it so much more. But Yeah. So, but I don't like to not talk about some of these platforms too. Like they exist and they're real, and there is cool stuff happening out there. A lot of people that won't come on this platform for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a reality.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Like X, I like to say, is like a direct line to the zeitgeist of culture and technology. And Facebook is like a direct line to just all the normies. So, if you gear your content towards that for that specific platform, you should be able to grow. Just keeping that in mind. It's not a good idea to do like a supremely autistic thread on Facebook. It's not going to do as well. You need like more, no offense to them, but simpler stuff.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kate. I'll go after you.
Yeah, real quick, and then I'll let you jump in, Hoops, because I just want to say, you guys that are making these connections and making this amazing, really high-level professional content, when you release it to the masses, right? Do you want to have like a big following on one of these general audience platforms that you can release something like at its finished, piece? And so like that's something to think about too, right? So yeah, go ahead, Hoops.
Yeah, the more exposure, always the better, right? And brand deals too, right? That's a good thing. When you have enough eyeballs and you have verified followers, brand deals are possible too. I like IG for, like my portfolio, because somebody can just scroll and see all the work that I'm doing with AI, on IG. That's the format there is a little different from and TikTok as well, right? It's a little different from what we get here. So that's what I like about that. It's more like a showcase, for me on those two platforms, IG and TikTok. And I'm on both, and my portfolios are there. And you scroll, and then you can see the body of work. Right here, you don't really, you have the posts and so on and so forth. You can see the body of work, but it's a little more spread out. It's not as organized. You know what I'm saying? So I like those two platforms for that. And of course, there's a lot of people in them too, right? We do have to balance ourselves and leverage ourselves too, right? Want to put ourselves in a little hole. Anyway, yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with this AI stuff and putting it out and just building. Just the creative part. That's what I like about this, man. I'm having so much fun just creating this stuff and just put it out there. Whoever knocks on the door, knocks on the door. Because as we know, we are cutting edge. We are cutting edge, and the things we put out, it will resonate with people because it's different and it's forward thinking, and people can recognize the next level. And that's what we are here, right? We are, because we have social audio here and we can communicate, and this accelerates the learning curve of everything. The fact that we have social audio here and most other platforms do not. So you can get in a room and have a collaborative effort, around building a product or whatever, the things that we do here. And that's so much more, accelerated as opposed to, just being on Facebook and texting, Instagram and posting, videos or whatever. But social audio has done a great job for advancing, our skill sets. It's enabled me to move so fast. And then now with AI, it's just crazy. Anyway, I'm rambling. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for adding that. And I'm just going to do a quick little reminder. We're going to close up the space here in about 10 minutes. It's been a fantastic conversation. And if you've jumped in here at the end, I encourage you to check out the Spotify link for the podcast so you can add this show, Collaboration Station show we do twice a week, to your podcast list, and you can listen to the replays. I edit them down a little bit so that it's a little bit easier listening. But I want to go to Robert, because we were kind of like going back and forth on this conversation. Then we'll go to Gunky and anyone else who has anything else they want to add or talk about before we close up the space. Just put a hand up and we'll get to it. So go ahead, Robert.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to get this out as fast as possible because Gunky has been waiting, but I wanted to touch base on what Hoop said. Primarily when it comes to like this particular content or you're creating, and let's just say you're having a really, really good time and you love it. And that is absolutely amazing. One of the things that we do need to focus on, I mentioned earlier, it's about style. Okay, so say, for instance, you want to go into movies, TV shows, commercials. What is your style? Find it. One of the best places to do that at, in my personal opinion, is Midjourney. Why? Because they allow you to create your own grading and aesthetic. So I'm just going to just recommend that before anything else. No, I'm not with Midjourney at all. At the same time, in order to get out good work, this is the first thing that I did when I seen what AI could actually do and the possibilities. I'm already an Oscar style guy where those are the type of movies that I want to see. So I'm like, okay, how can I incorporate their styles into my work? And then essentially, in the long run, make it better. So I started first mimicking them, just seeing if I could emulate anything that they were doing into my work. And eventually it surpassed it because I mentioned this earlier as well. We work with pixels now. We don't work with other things and I mean a lot of pixels. And you can do so much things that, say, for instance, we cannot do within the normal world. So, of course, I think the instruments that we use will actually surpass some of the things that we have now, like an IMAX camera. I think that it'll surpass it by a million miles. Even if people don't believe it, I honestly think that it will. We're not really that far away. We get Midjourney V7, I believe, next week, and let's just see what it can do. At the same time, when you're producing really, really great content, and let's just say if it does mimic something that's out there that gets a lot of eyes, like let's just say if it was the Avengers, of course, nobody's work is on the Avengers level, but not right now, at least. Let's just say if you could do something like that, that is how you get noticed. Go beat the industry now. Don't wait till later. Try to start doing things that they do now and then see if you can do it for long extended periods, long extended clips and things of that nature. And once they see that you can do that, that's when they start to approach you and things of that nature. And they start to ask you hey, can you be able to do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? So those just the bases that I wanted to get out for any user here. And it's a pleasure to meet all you guys. I'm going to stick around to the end before I can hear the rest of these speakers. So thank you so much for you guys. And yes.
Yeah, thanks so much for popping in today. I just want to quickly ask you, and then, yes, we'll go to Gunky. He's so patient. He's here all the time. He's a regular. So that's why I'm being a little bit more friendly to some of the newer people, but that's what you get for being a regular. But I want to ask Robert, do you pop into spaces a lot? Or you ever host your own? Or because you got a lot to talk about. So I just want to know if you do more spaces anytime.
No, I'm just one of the guys that, how can I say this? I speak to almost any and everybody in the AI space. So I'm in a lot of communities. That's one thing. Of course, Christopher spoke about the content creators program. That's where you meet a lot of people. And it's always the same people. It's the same 500 people. You know what I mean? So all these people are really, really good at what we do. I don't know. I just really, really just helping people get better. That's why I gave away those mood boards, knowing by time next week, I'll create another new mood board that surpasses those other mood boards, while sometimes people don't want to relinquish their own particular information and things like that. I want to be the individual to help people get better, because I know what it's like at the beginning and you're so confused. You don't know what to do. So I'm okay, I'm going to help you get there like a Grand Theft Auto cheat code. I'm just going to give it to you, and then hopefully you can utilize it in order to get better within a small amount of time. And that's honestly how I feel. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to know people within the space. And yes, we are pioneers and we are growing slowly. But no, okay, I can't even say slowly and maturely. We're actually going pretty damn fast. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thanks for popping in today. And I hope you join the community collaboration station. The space is held in it. Because if you are ever floating around and you get the notification we're doing a space and you can pop in, I just love to have you, because it's when you just more people to add to the conversation, but also helping when people have questions, because we get all kinds of people, all kinds of creators, people who have never touched AI, people who are dabbling in it, and people who are at very high level stuff and every step in between. So the more insights and these tools, how can you know every tool, right? So there's always someone that knows something that I don't know, or has tried a tool that I've never heard of, and all the little tips and tricks and new features that come out in all these tools. So thanks again. We're going to go to Gunky and we'll go to Aura, and then we're going to wrap up the space. So Gunky, thank you for being so patient. I know you're a patient guy, so I appreciate you.
It's not patience, it's just very slow moving. Oh, where do I start? Oh, one thing. I did hear I don't know, a year or a couple of years ago that the guy that rendered the Luke Skywalker in, I think, The Mandalorian was just some kid that Disney found on the internet, and he just did a deep fake Luke Skywalker, and they employed him to make the one in the show. I heard that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. The second thing, next Tuesday, is April the 1st. And I wonder if anybody think it'd be a funny idea to do some kind of AI deep fake spoof thing. I'm thinking like live footage of the Sasquatch has finally been found, or Tesla unveils its new hover bike, or Loch Ness monster, or
alien invasion, and the whole AI community start posting the videos of what they're seeing.
Yeah, do it like put overlays over the AI and just do it, sort of clip, I don't know. You have some ideas, and then I don't know, and maybe on Sunday we decide who we're going to run with. They post it, and we all, launch the pylon kind of thing. Wow,
it's happening.
The Sasquatch is found, or it could be fun. I mean, it happens once a year, and AI is just perfect for that. And the only other thing was to do a live show like AI's Got Talent. Yeah, maybe along the lines of kind of Whose Line Is It Anyway, something like that, where the audience say, okay, the Gingerbread Man versus Shrek in space, MMA fighting or something with laser swords, or and then I'm Rich, I'm using Halo, I'm Christopher, and I'm representing the Grok, and I bet it's going to happen. AI's Got Talent, or Whose AI Is It Anyway, or something along those lines. I think for me, I just get completely confused, because every time I see someone's post, it's like, wow, look what this can do. And I'm like, I don't know, how many different AIs are there? What are their limitations? And I'd quite like to see, like, when I used to host websites and design websites, they'd have like their different, you'd have ticks. Yes, it includes this, but it doesn't include that. It does this. And to have some kind of measure as to who's, I've no idea who's winning in AI at the moment in terms of the technology. Everyone says the one they're using is brilliant, and I'm like, until the next one. There's no sort of scorecard. There's no, there's no charts. I don't know who's top of the charts, but I'm very confused by it all. Really, I don't know where to sort of put my chips on, kind of thing, to get into. Really. Anyway, that was it.
There are leaderboards, at least for image generation, but I don't know how much stock you want to put in that, because it's who's doing the judging for that kind of stuff. Like, how do you judge whether something is like an accurate prompt or not? Like, who's doing the judging? So I would question that. I'd say whatever works best for you is the best tool.
Yep, and I will jump in as the normie representative. Just pick one. Like, you see someone do something cool and they mention what they're using, just decide to use that for a month, pay for the month, or use up the free credits. And if you still like it, pay for a month and play around with it for a month. And then after a month, if you still like it, keep the subscription, keep using it, or switch to another one and do the same thing. Because if you start to try and do, I think, fine for just like regular, normal people I'm talking about. I mean, you're not making like movies and stuff with this stuff. You're just maybe making a couple memes or clips, or putting together a little video or some songs or whatever. Just focus on one tool, get as good at it as you can in a few weeks, playing around with it, and then, see if you still like it after that. Or if you see someone else's post, right? Like a few weeks later, you see like someone post and you're like, whoa, I want to try what I was doing in that app in this app now. Then you just switch. Like, I jump all over the place. I'm not necessarily loyal to any tools. There's some tools that I like better for certain things, and then some other tool. Like, when Rich came to me the other day, like, oh, I need a logo, I'm like, these are the tools I use for logo. Like, that's what I go to. I'm not going to Midjourney. Sorry, it's just not working for me for logos. So I go to another place for logos, and like, so it's different styles, right? So you kind of figure out what's good for this and that, but you have to play around with them, and you have to spend some time with them, and to learn those idiosyncrasies for each of the models. Or I guess
that's what I like about Poe.com. It's an environment with like 1 million AIs, and you get access to Luma Labs, Llama, all of them. I mean, there's so many there, and they're all right there in that same environment, and you can mix and match and move your data around, and you have video editing, you have photo editing, you have image, you have everything, text. It's crazy, and it's a great environment for just exactly that, Kate. Moving things around, mixing and matching, and comparing things. And I love it, because I get a chance to see different perspectives from the different AI, and I don't have I might have one that I like to do something a little different. The other, but it's a great environment. I didn't mean to drop the name of the app here, but it's a great environment.
No, drop it
No, it's
again.
true.
What is it? I forgot. Right in here.
POE.com. $19 a month, and you have the full gamut. It gives you. I mean, I haven't used up all the credits, and I've so many images and that I've run through that app with so many different AI agents as well. You know, I'm branding my little ball player here with one of the apps there, and it's so consistent. You know, and I wouldn't be able to get this effect in a Mid Journey, but I got it in that app. I'm satisfied with it. So that's the beautiful thing about that. You can move things around and get results from different AI agents there. POE.com.
Yeah, check it out. All right, so we're going to go ahead to Aura, and then Avni snuck her hand in there, but we'll keep it quick. And I know the bingo cards are getting close, so we'll see what happens. Okay, Aura.
Yeah, I would like to say, Robert, Gunky, you both failed me. You were over the 2 minutes. I was really rooting for that 5 so that I could win. If anybody has an animal in the background, if you could please, request a hand, because I'm not going to talk for 5 minutes and disrespect Kate's time just to get a pin post. But I did want to thank Kate, Christopher, Rich, and all the wonderful speakers. This is by far my second favorite space. My first is tomorrow. It's What the Clock. It'll be at noon Pacific Standard Time. Our topic is going to be managing our expectations. So, there are a lot of creators that are quiet quitting, and I really want people to still invest in X. Maybe you're not getting a monetary return, but there's so many rewards here. So that's going to be what we're talking about tomorrow. So please join us. I did put it down in the purple pill. And thank you so much, Kate. I'll see you on Sunday.
Yes. And I'll probably be in the space tomorrow too, listening. I'm more of a listener and then a speaker occasionally on that space.
Thank you.
All right. What you got?
Oh, well, I was actually going to give Gunky a little tip. So you can use AI and give it like a little rundown of what your requirements are, what you're looking for, like if you want it to be free or if you want to pay a fee. And it will list out every possible option for you when it comes to tech that you can use. And then I also have like a little space coming on this Friday. So I thought I'd just mention that.
Yes, of course, Avni. And if you want to put the link to that space down below, you're welcome to, so people can RSVP. Well, we've got them hostage in the space, but we are closing up here. And it looks like Aura got bingo. So we will verify that and give her the pinned post in the community on Friday. And so she's going to think long and hard about what she wants to have in that pinned post. But we have the poll that Christopher ran during the space. And why don't you go ahead and reveal the results of that, and we will close up the show.
Today's poll is what killed the dinosaurs? And your answers are 0% of the vote was virus. Tied for second place with 25% of the vote each is Gen Z or other, and other is, both people said flood. And one of them said the flood described in Genesis, which I think that person is confused. And then 50% of the vote, number one, is asteroid.
All right. And well, if you go to a museum in Florida, I think they show that, how that worked with the dinosaurs and everything in the flood. So I think that's
a lot of people say that the dinosaurs were demons.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to check out next time I'm in Florida. I want to go to that museum.
I kind of honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Just make
Why
AI
not?
show you what it looks like.
Oh yeah,
Biblically
definitely.
accurate dinosaur demons.
All right. I want to thank everyone who joined us today. This was a really great space. A lot of great content creators added their 2 cents and showcased what they're doing. Also, please go through the Projectotron up above and check out the various things that we have on offer up there. I've got the Opus Clips affiliated partner link. If you want to try, if you do a lot of long form content, this tool is amazing for just, you put in your YouTube link or upload the video or whatever, and it'll clip it using their AI to make shorts and TikToks and stuff like this with captions and everything. It reframes the people. If you're doing a podcast with people's faces, or a live stream or something, it'll reposition it's amazing. You can try it for free. Check it out. If you do a lot of long form content, boy, this has saved me a lot of effort. the AI is getting very good too. It's their own model, I think, or they're training off of something else to create their own thing. And it's pretty awesome. So I recommend checking that out through our link. And that's up above and also down below in the purple pill. And then, of course, the link to the show as a podcast. Much appreciated giving us a follow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and rating and reviewing. So much. Thank you all. You can join us next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe I'll be able to do that. I will be in a different location. And also Sunday space at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, I believe I will be in a different location. We will see. Things are a little bit chaotic right now, but a lot of excitement coming up to look forward to. Make sure you're following all the speakers. And I'm sorry, Gunky, I'm closing up. I hope you can maybe drop your point below in the purple pill. We'll get to it. And thanks to everybody for hanging out. Always great to see you. And have a great day, everybody. Bye.